Hello maths fans! Welcome to another episode of Maths Speed Dating, where I interview my fellow YouTubers by asking them randomly selected questions which have been taken from speed dating websites. Today I'm very pleased to be joined by Trevor from the channel Mathemaniac. Trevor, would you like to introduce yourself for everyone?
So, hi, I'm Trevor. I'm from the channel Mathemaniac, and basically I do this sort of like a math animation kind of videos, kind of like 3 Blue, 1 Brown. And basically I'm talking about topics that I feel interested in at the time. So, yeah, that's it.
They're really good. You should definitely, if you haven't already checked out Trevor's channel, you really should.
Yeah.
And there's a really interesting story actually about how we sort of first got in contact, which is Trevor entered an essay in the Teddy Rocks Maths essay competition, which I run here at St Edmund Hall at the University of Oxford. So you entered the competition, and then you made a video about the essay, is that correct?
Yeah.
And that was the start of the channel, pretty much, or?
Not the start of the channel,
Okay.
but back then I think I have like 1,000 subscribers at
Okay, so it was one of the first videos on the channel, and I did a little intro piece, which you very kindly asked me to sort of introduce. But yeah, so do check out that one.
Also, check out that one.
And also all of the other videos. They are really very good. I'm not just saying this because he's here. They are actually very good. So for those of you who potentially haven't seen how math speed dating works, or would like a reminder, and for the benefit of Trevor, so you know what you've gotten yourself into.
Yes.
It's hopefully relatively straightforward. There is a die, which you are going to roll.
Yeah.
This is numbered 1 to 6, like most cubic die. And then the number you roll will then mean a question from one of these pots. So I will hand you the pot, you will draw out the question, pass it to me to then read it to you. So you're going to be responsible for picking the question, so you can't say that anything was fixed, right? You're responsible for your own choices. If you roll a 1, this one says maths. It should say maths/YouTube. So it's like to do with things that you maybe favorite number, or maybe like, interesting fan mail you've received. Anything kind of maths/YouTube related for that one. If you roll a 2 or a 3, we'll go from the general pot. So these are what I classified as general speed dating style questions, like what music do you like? What is your favorite movie? That kind of thing. Then we have the slightly more obscure questions in the fun jar. So this might be, what animal would you be if you had to be an animal, for example?
Okay.
So still a little bit about getting to know you and your personality, but maybe a little bit more like on the weird side, shall we say. Non-standard questions. And then we have the danger pot, which isn't actually dangerous. This should just probably say something like questions you might not necessarily want to share with YouTube. So it might ask you about, like, I don't know, getting into trouble at school or embarrassing things you've done, that kind of nature, where it's not actually dangerous, but it's, things that you might not want to necessarily answer, but now you've agreed to play the game, you have to answer. So,
Okay.
That's how it works. Okay, so does that all make sense?
Yes. We'll cut that, right? We can cut that.
Well, we'll see. I've yet to cut any so far with my other guests, we'll see. Right, but there's the dice. If you want to roll away, let's get started. Okay, so that's a 3. So it's going to be the general pot. So I'll take the lid off. You draw the question and then hand me the question for me to read out for you, because it's good to get your reaction as you read the question for the first time. Or hear the question first time. Oh, this is a nice and easy one. Did you have any pets growing up?
Simple answer is no.
Were there any pets that you wanted? So I really wanted a pet snake when I was like 13, but my parents wouldn't let me. I don't know. I liked snakes. But yeah, so was there any way you thought you were like, oh, I'd like to have a dog or a cat, or maybe one of your friends did, or family? I don't know. Was there any sort of pets in your life at any point so far?
Probably a dog, but probably not in my home. Just because I feel like having a pet is such a hassle.
There is a lot
they
of
are
looking
cute.
after. Yeah.
But
it is important to be. No, it's good because you already have like the responsible thing. I think lots of people don't realize just how much work pets can be, right? Especially like dogs and cats and things. So okay, so potentially a dog in the future then.
But also,
Potentially.
like where I live, they don't allow any dogs or any pets, to be honest. So,
Okay.
so it's
But maybe in the
Yeah,
future, do you
maybe-
think
maybe in
possibly
the
if, you know,
future.
I'm thinking, let's say 10, 20 years, if you had like a family or something, do you think maybe you would have a dog?
yeah, probably. Just
Okay.
but it will be very, very far into the future.
Okay.
Like right now, it's not really.
It doesn't work when
happening.
you're a student as
Yeah,
well, right?
definitely not when I'm a student. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which,
Okay.
by the way, yeah, I am a fourth year student in Cambridge actually.
Yes. Yes, we should clarify this for everyone watching. All right, let's roll again.
So, okay. 4.
4. Oh, it's the fun jar.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Thank you.
That seems like a short question.
It is. What is your dream job?
Actually, kind of like yours, to be honest. So I really like what I'm doing right now. So, but obviously, like YouTube, many people probably haven't expected this to be like a relatively lonely kind of job. Like particularly for math communication, to be honest. So I would really want to like teach at a more like university kind of level,
Yeah.
which is I think what Tom is doing right now.
That's exactly what I do. Yeah.
So yeah, so that's what I really want to do. But at the same time, I feel like being an academic, like doing a lot of research, can be somewhat daunting and very stressful. Like kind of, you have to get one paper out every year or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very stressful. So if there is a job that like teaching, like purely teaching kind of professor, that would
That's
be,
what I do. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't do research, so I teach and then do the YouTube and talks in schools and the other outreach work that I do.
Yeah, so
kind
that's
of like-
exactly
that's-
what Tom is
Okay,
doing.
so Trevor wants my job.
Yeah.
I've only just got this job, so you're going to have to wait a while. But you
Me-
will. So that means you are thinking then of going on to the PhD
Yes,
after
yeah,
you finish
yeah,
your fourth year.
yeah. If I can get a PhD,
Are you in the
I-
process now of sort of thinking of applying and stuff as a fourth year? Is this like...
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So I'm thinking about like Cambridge PhD has a particular like because I'm doing like theoretical physics kind of thing. So for theoretical physics for Cambridge PhD, you have an exam, a kind of qualifying exam.
Yep.
So hopefully I can do well in that qualifying exam and get into that PhD. But I will be happy if like any other universities as well. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, good luck.
Thank
Well, you're
you.
not having my job. Hopefully you can
Probably
have a
not
similar...
at Oxford.
Well, yeah,
It
maybe you could
be.
have a similar job at Cambridge. That'd be great, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Where we go next?
Okay.
6.
Oh no.
Danger. Okay. There's
Okay.
fewer of these, as you can see. Okay.
Oh.
Danger.
Is that-
Okay. Ooh. Would you rather be forgotten or remembered for all the wrong reasons?
Definitely forgotten.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like I don't know, like being remembered for the wrong reasons. There are a lot of different interpretations for that.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
So if it's like doing a thing that I have already thought about, like weighing a lot of like pros and cons, and turns out it
There were more
probab-
cons than pros.
probably, yeah, and also like kind of like the lesser of two evils kind of options.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then-
Yeah. Right.
And then if I'm doing that, and then people only see like what I'm doing as evil, then it's I don't really I just don't want to be remembered for the wrong reasons. I guess I would just really rather be forgotten. Yeah, probably you can probably see that from the fact that I don't actually post this often, and I have only like revealed my face until now.
Yes.
So
Yes, this is a big deal. This is the first time, right, that you've revealed yourself to the world of YouTube.
Yeah, it takes a bit of a courage from me. So yeah, I really don't want to be like too, I don't know, like too recognized or
Yeah,
something. So
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I say this is the first time, so this video is probably going to be coming out after the other video that we filmed today. So Trevor actually came over to Oxford, and we just filmed a video where you were asking me the interview questions, the admissions interview questions
Yeah,
that you had 4 years ago.
Yeah, 4 years ago.
4 years ago as a student. So yeah, so this pair of videos is your sort of first time revealing yourself
Yes.
to YouTube. And I'm very, it's awesome to be a part of that, so thanks. All right, so can you get a 1 and complete the set? That's the question now.
What? Oh, no. Okay.
We'll go again.
We'll go again.
It's another 6.
Oh no. Is that rigged?
So I've had questions about this. It's not a rigged die, I can assure you. It is a real non-biased die.
I should have brought my own die.
Though it does seem to like giving out lots of 6s. Oh, okay. What was the biggest trouble that you got into at school?
To be honest, like I'm quite a good boy at school. So,
Can you remember getting into any trouble? Even if it was sort of something where there was perhaps a miscommunication or a misinterpretation or...
I would blame that on the teacher. So, so it's basically we had like after school lessons because of like a long story basically, and then also there was like the last lesson in my school they ran over by quite a lot, and then the teacher just got very angry. Like the after school teacher, like
Oh, because you all turned up late
yeah,
because of the actual school lesson overrunning.
but we have already explained, and I was also very pissed off at that time.
I can imagine, right? Yeah, because it's eating into even more of your free time and different things, yeah.
So I just kind of threw a little bit of tantrum at this point. So so yeah, that was probably the only thing that I wouldn't say that I got into trouble,
Right.
but yeah.
Did you not get
that's-
detention or anything like that? Just kind of a telling off. You were just kind of told, calm down and don't do this again, or...
I mean, it's just telling off because that teacher was just really angry.
Yeah.
Like telling all of us off, just because it's not really our fault, right?
Yeah. No, I'm with you. But yeah, I feel like, I can also see the teacher's perspective.
Yeah,
of,
definitely.
Being like, well, because the teacher's going to be annoyed as well that obviously things are running later. So it's just a terrible situation for everybody, right? You're all in a bad mood. So yeah. All right, fine. As mentioned by Trevor, after-school lessons can be a great way to improve your school grades and to experience learning outside of the classroom. And as luck would have it, that is exactly what the sponsor of today's video, UK Schooling, specialise in. This summer, they are running 2 camps at the University of Cambridge for students aged 13 to 17. The camps are academic in nature, and you will be taught by current professors, lecturers and scholars from Oxford and Cambridge across a wide range of subjects. You will also be able to live the Oxbridge experience in student rooms at Lucy Cavendish College with daily meals served in the student canteen. There's also lots of fun to be had with excursions and evening activities. Find out more at ukschooling.co.uk, including details on how to enter the essay competition to win a programme scholarship.
Okay, please get a 1.
3. That's going to be a general part.
Okay, next time I will say, just please not get a 1, and I will get one.
Probably will. What is your favourite movie? Or movies, if you can't, name a specific out-and-out favourite, because that's quite hard.
It's interesting because all of them, like, recently I haven't really gone into any movies. Because the thing about me is that whenever I watch a TV show or a movie, I would forget about this completely.
So you don't even remember what you've watched.
Yes.
Okay, well, which movie comes to mind?
It's really, really like I don't know if it come across very bad on camera. Probably like Disney films. So it's kind of like the last one is probably like Aladdin or something like that.
Okay,
Is
the
it?
cartoon or the live action version?
I think it's the live action.
The live action.
I just got into it because like the music is very good.
Okay, fair. Yeah. So the music's the same, obviously, in the live one and the cartoon, I assume.
The music I can remember.
Right, okay. But just
then
not the actual...
just not like I couldn't really get into like who is Aladdin?
Right. So in general, would you say, are you like a fan of musicals and like, you know,
Fan of
Disney
music.
films and things, or...
Yes, fan
Okay.
of music, but not necessarily. I think it's just in general something very, very obviously fiction.
Mhm.
It's not going to stick that much into my head. Like
Okay.
a lot of people would say, "Hey, watch like Harry Potter or watch Star Wars or something like
Yeah.
that." And then I was thinking, even if I do, I couldn't remember anything. So what's
Except
the point?
music.
Except the
So
music.
you've never seen Harry Potter or Star
No.
Wars? Or...
So
Wow.
yeah, so
Wow.
that is a really, really strange situation. I feel like.
No, that's interesting. This is the whole point of having this, right, of us chatting about this, that we've now realised you're just not a huge movie fan. That's fine.
Yeah, maybe if there
That's
is a
interesting.
music question come up,
Then you can tell
I
us
could,
what-
yeah. I
All
could
right, well,
tell.
let's see if we can get the music question. Four. Fun. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Ooh. Can you tell me a joke?
It's really, really bad to come up with a joke on the spot.
Oh, it's impossible to come up with one, but do you not have... Is your brain not suddenly, like, think of a joke and it remembers one you've heard at some point, or... Doesn't matter how bad it is, because I've had this question
No.
come up a few times, and I have heard some terrible jokes come out from people.
No, wait. I couldn't even remember a joke that I was told. That's the thing. I think it's like, how did a penguin build a house? It glues it together. Things like that. It's just really...
I did warn you they were going to be terrible
Yes.
jokes.
Yeah,
No, that's
terrible
good. No, I
jokes.
like it. How did a penguin build a house? It glues it together.
I mean,
Is that-
that's
that's
a very
like-
standard joke.
It's like something you would get in a Christmas cracker. You know, like a terrible...
Yeah.
No, I like it. Thank you. No, that's good. I'm not expecting actual comedian level jokes here, right? I'm expecting terrible, like, dad jokes or ones you get in crackers, like, you know?
Right.
No, awesome. All right.
All right. Three. Maybe it's a music one.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Ooh, what was your best weekend this year? Which roughly translates as, tell me something, you know, interesting or eventful or momentous, something memorable that happened to you this year.
It's not a weekend.
That's fine. Just like an event.
It's just that I have been to Iceland in April.
Awesome.
I think it's like the best time to go there, April. It's
Okay.
not too cold.
Mm-hmm.
When I say it's not too cold, it's like -6 degrees.
Yes.
But
There's less snow and ice, is that correct? In a lot of the ice? Because I think... So I've been to Iceland twice. I went in December and I went in March. And
Oh,
December,
December
it was
one.
just snow everywhere and it was absolutely, like, unbearably cold. But that was kind of fun in its own way. And then in March, like, I'd imagine it was similar to April. It was still cold, but, like, there was a lot less snow and ice around.
So a lot less like ice around, yes, but there are still like glaciers on the mountain and things like
And
that.
did you go and see them? And
Yeah, I've walked on it.
Oh, wow,
Yeah,
brilliant.
so,
Okay,
yeah.
that's very cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. So yeah, I was quite jealous of the people living in Reykjavik because when I was like walking around Reykjavik near my hotel, it's just like really picturesque scenery. So like snow-capped mountains and it's just really, really nice place. And also I prefer cold rather than
I'm with you. I
hot.
prefer cold actually over like blaring heat. Definitely
Yeah.
prefer the cold.
Yeah, it was a very, very good trip. If I retire, I probably would want to go there, except for
Okay.
like the language barrier, probably.
Yeah, well, have you been to other, any of the Scandinavian countries like Sweden, Finland,
Not
Norway,
yet,
Denmark?
but definitely I could. Yeah,
Well, I recommend them in terms of like they're all awesome. So like if you enjoyed Iceland, I feel like it has a similar. To me, it felt like the scenery and the way of life sort of was similar. It's not quite as extreme as Iceland, but
well, the thing is that Iceland is like really, really expensive, so my bank is like already bleeding.
so
at
is
this point.
Scandinavia. Yeah.
But so is that. Yeah.
So-
So yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Wait for a bit until it saved up a little bit.
All right, where we go next? You're gonna get that one, so we can have some maths.
Yes.
Alrighty. It's always good to complete the set.
All the other episodes, I think like you have to force a one to appear. Or
I know.
something.
I feel like this die just doesn't ever want to be. It will always be
So it was a miracle.
sixes and never ones. Okay. What are other YouTube channels that you watch?
Well, Tom Ross, obviously.
They have to say that.
Yeah.
No, you
yeah. Well, obviously, like number file 3 blue and brown, like mathology, that kind of like math channels. But
Yeah.
if you're not talking about like, then there are a couple of YouTubers called like Korean Englishmen,
Okay.
and their side channel called Jolly. I think they're like really, really wholesome channel. What else?
What do they do on the channel?
So
Is it like vlogs, or is it a specific thing they're talking about? What's
So
the kind of?
Korean Englishman is currently doing a series where they take a bunch of British high school children, high schoolers,
Yeah.
to go to Korea.
Okay.
So there are like
And just sort of record their experiences in like
Yeah,
a foreign
like-
land and.
yes.
Okay.
But they previously also do like they have also invited like British priests
Okay.
and also an army major because these two people are actually twins.
Okay.
Like
yeah.
they
Yeah.
are-
Yeah.
So I just find it like a really, really wholesome channel. So
Awesome. We all need more wholesomeness in our lives, right? I think. Yeah.
yeah,
There's something very. It's like comforting just watching something that you find particularly wholesome, right? Like it's just nice. Yeah.
Speaking of wholesome, there's probably another channel. Probably you have heard of like Ryan Trahan. Have you heard of the? No, probably not.
I don't think so.
Like he's doing like the penny challenge.
Don't
Okay,
think so,
never
no.
mind. Okay, so yeah, basically he did like daily vlogging for like 30 days
Okay.
and trying to get from one corner of America to another,
Okay.
starting
Yeah.
from just one penny.
Wow. Okay.
So it was a really, really nice challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I also watch a lot of other YouTube channels, but probably I would stop because I watch too much YouTube. At this
So the answer to what YouTube channels do you watch is all of them.
yeah,
No.
Yeah,
No,
pretty much.
that's good. There's two there I've never heard of, along with all the, as you say, the sort of. I feel bad saying this, the standard maths ones. I think it's still good to hear that other people in the maths community watch maths channels, though, right? Like, I still feel like that is a valuable thing to share.
Well, what about you then?
What about me? I know similar. I watch basically all the other sort of go-to maths channels that you've mentioned. Outside of that, I have quite a few like music channels from musicians and bands that I follow. So I'll then occasionally, obviously they post new music, but occasionally they post like little interviews or like behind-the-scenes tour clips, and I quite like that because I'm quite into like music and sort of pop punk and like screamo music and rock music. So it's quite nice to see the band members, interacting and stuff. So I watch a bit of that, and then I watched a couple of bits of like Pokemon. Anything to do with
Okay.
Pokemon,
Okay.
really ends
Okay.
up coming up on my channel. So, yeah, a bit of everything.
Yeah.
As with most people's YouTube subscriptions, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm not like all about like watching math videos.
No,
at
yeah,
this-
Sometimes
like,
it's nice to
sometimes it's nice
do something different. Yeah.
because it is already very exhausting to have math in my degree. and I'm
And then
doing
to
like
also
a
be
math
making-
channel.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Well, you can go wherever you want now.
Yeah.
No more target needed. Two.
2.
The general one. Well, you want that music question, don't you? Something related to music. Oh, is that? No,
is that-
I thought it was 2. I think you're good. Okay. What are you currently watching? Like TV shows, I'm guessing. Because usually, people have a series on the go, let's say. But it sounds as though you might not, seeing as
Yeah,
you don't
but-
seem to be hugely into watching
No,
TV and movies. But
Like, not really any TV show or anything. Like,
any
I
TV
don't-
series you've watched recently or you enjoy watching, whether it's like cartoons or I don't know, or anything of that that we could classify as a TV show.
Yeah, I just grow up watching a little bit of soaps.
Okay.
yeah,
Do you still
it's
watch them? Is that like another comfort blanket for you? Is to just sit down and watch some soaps?
Not really, because now in uni, you know that I have to, because like the TV license kind of thing.
Oh, okay, right.
I really,
yeah.
I just don't
So you're
want to
just
pay
like,
the TV
okay.
license. Okay.
Okay. But when you're at home, potentially some soaps.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. It's like a guilty pleasure. All right. Where we go next? 4. Fun. I think this has been a good spread, considering these two are the most likely.
Yes,
That
yes.
this is representing probability well. Which is always nice. See, I don't think the die is proving it is not biased. Do you have any nicknames, or did you have any when you were, younger and at school?
I mean, my name is Trevor, so people just call me like, like the only nickname probably like
Trev.
Trev or Trevi or something.
Trevi, Trev. Okay, yeah. What about like has anyone on YouTube or social media sort of come up with a nickname or anything like that, or is like a shortening of Mathemaniac? So like for Tom Rock's Maths, occasionally like I myself will refer to it as TRM or something like that. I'm just wondering, has there been any shortening of Mathemaniac?
But how do you shorten it?
MM? Mathemaniac? I don't know. Mathem?
Math. Well, no, not really.
No.
So, I don't think I've really been called any nicknames, to be honest.
Okay, that's all right. We can
Like-
stick with Trev or Mathem. We're going to make Mathem a
Mathem.
thing. I
Okay,
think that's quite good,
okay.
right? Are you happy with Mathem? Can we make Mathem a thing?
I just don't know whether this will clash with other YouTube channels, though.
Okay, let's do it as an audience challenge. Anyone watching who would like to come up with a nickname for Trevor or his channel, please write it in the comments.
Oh, by the way, speaking about like previous channel, like having a similar name, Simon from Numberphile has Twitter account. His handle is Mathemaniac.
Oh,
Exactly
yes,
the
of course
same.
it is. Yeah.
So I was like, when I was logging on to Twitter, I was like, why can't I use Mathemaniac?
Yeah, because you type it in and it's like name taken.
So yeah, I just add a YT in front,
So
at the end.
So it's Mathemaniac YT.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have to do that with any of the other social media, or have you only done Twitter?
No, it's just it's just Simon's handle is called Mathemaniac.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I feel like you should reach out to Simon. Just say hi and be like, my channel is the same name as your Twitter. He will love it. I bet you he will love it.
This is completely accidental, by the way.
Yes, but I still feel like you should. Okay, there we go. This is your task after we finish filming.
Okay.
To contact Simon. 6.
Oh.
I like it. I like it when my guests get danger. Though, as you've seen, not that they're that dangerous. Okay. What is the most adventurous thing you have ever done?
Can I say just filming this video? Like,
That's quite
literally.
fair. Yeah. No, that's pretty adventurous. Revealing your face to YouTube. That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, hiking on glaciers sounds quite adventurous as well. No.
Well, if you count like if you know how that works, then it's not that adventurous.
I don't know. I feel like most people watching this would say hiking on a glacier is quite
yes,
adventurous.
definitely.
Like,
Yeah. But yeah, just appearing on your channel and just revealing my face on my channel as well.
Yeah. It's been a momentous day.
Yes, I just know from a lot of like YouTube comments. I don't know whether you read those. Internet is a scary place. Okay?
Oh yeah.
So, so yeah, I'm just a little bit scared about revealing my face, but I feel like just stepping out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
It's probably a good thing.
I agree. I think to obviously it depends on the person and the situation, but like I do agree that pushing yourself, you don't want to like step so far out of your comfort zone that you don't know what planet you're on, but just like a little bit every now and then. It's something I tried to do as well. In terms of like I recently did a new talk this week, actually, in fact, at a science festival, which was a comedy show. And I've never done an actual comedy show, and I like advertised this as a comedy show, and it was
Is it on Wednesday, that one?
It was the one, a few days ago, yeah, it was a few days ago. So like,
well, I'm a student, I can't come for the...
oh no, it's already happened, so you've missed it
okay.
now. But like, but like for me, that was something. I don't think it's complete. It's not massively outside of my comfort zone,
Right?
But it was something that I'm used to doing. Let's say entertaining maths talks, but I've never tried to do an actual comedy maths talk. And and then I tried it this week. As far as I can tell, it went well. I got good reviews. People laughed when I wanted them to laugh, which is always nice. They also laughed at points when I wasn't expecting them to laugh, which I think is also good. So yeah, no, I'm with you on this. So
yeah, I also went to your math talk in April, I think.
Yes, the Cambridge Science Festival. Yeah.
I don't think Tom knows at that point.
I didn't know. You told me afterwards, right?
Yeah.
You like emailed me and said I was at your talk. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah. But the thing is, like the Cambridge Science Festival, I feel like it's more directed towards like children kind of thing.
Some of the events, yes. Yeah, I think especially the weekend events, they're sort of like Saturdays and Sundays. They're generally, we're told as like the speakers and stuff, like family friendly. There will potentially be younger children.
But I still enjoy it. So that's
yeah. So for most of my events, I try to I recommend usually like 12 plus, knowing that some people will bring their children younger than 12. But like I'm generally pitching it at I'm generally pitching most of my stuff like 13 to 16, maybe to 18, is kind of that range. So, but yeah, as long as you enjoyed it,
yeah,
learn a bit about my research. Awesome. All right, so
okay,
let's continue to push you outside of your comfort zone and roll the dice.
Okay, 3.
General again. You can pick this one. I'm just going to put it back in because it seems to be hanging too much at the top. Okay.
Oh, is it the same one?
Quite possibly. What time in history would you have liked to be born in, and why?
Oh, I hate this sort of like hypothetical questions.
Oh, but they're fun.
But they are fun. Yeah. What time would I be born in? I think probably like the 1700s kind of era.
Okay.
Like, is it like when Euler or Gauss when they were born?
Doing things.
It's just like when I watch back what they have discovered, it feels like it's not that difficult.
But at that time. Yeah.
So I feel like it's just because the human knowledge, math knowledge, hasn't been like to a certain level. It just feels a lot easier to push the knowledge zone outward. So probably at that time, I like with utterly unjustified confidence, I would probably be able to do research more about maths, and definitely not to like.
There's a lot more. Okay, we could say there's almost like a lot more low-hanging fruit existed around that time period.
Yeah, definitely.
So I have thought about some of the things myself. So first of all, I think it would be interesting to be alive and around those mathematicians anyway, right?
Yeah.
So automatically it's an interesting time period. But I do wonder whether we see potentially, as you sort of hinted at, are we looking at their work as easy just because to us now, because we've gone so much past it, it feels easy. Because
Yeah.
I just think at that time it would not in any way, like they really were pushing the boundaries. But at the same time, there was a lot more low-hanging fruit around.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
like-
so it kind of balances out.
Maybe,
right?
yeah, yeah. I think I'd probably pick something like, you know, I think it'd be cool to live with some dinosaurs. I don't know what state humans were in that time period. I don't think we were really a thing, but you know, I think it'd be kind of cool to be around when dinosaurs were around.
Yeah,
Assuming that was
okay.
possible. Probably isn't. Maybe that's more a time travel question. I'd go back to the time of dinosaurs and probably be eaten.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh,
You really
same
are
jar.
you're enjoying the general pot. Okay.
Okay.
Kind of similar, but we'll go with it anyway. What are your favorite places you visited? So Iceland. Is there anywhere else that you've happened to have visited that you've really enjoyed?
I haven't really traveled to many places.
Maybe within the
So-
UK? You visited anywhere in the UK that you've sort of thought was quite fun or interesting? Oxford?
Yeah,
Had you
Oxford.
been to Oxford before? Was this your first time in Oxford?
So I followed a kind of a school trip because
Okay.
Cambridge has, I think, a science program. So I have been to Cambridge before.
Yeah.
And they just brought us to Oxford to, I don't know, they are making fun of Oxford, obviously. Like we are enemies.
Ooh, no, we're not. We're all friends.
So I have been to Oxford once, but it was like really, really long time ago.
Okay.
So another place might it's just a very, very standard answer, London.
No,
yeah, but-
yeah. I'm London's cool for the history stuff, but I'm not a huge fan of London in terms of like visiting or living there. Beyond obviously all the cool history and monuments and things. So I find it interesting when people say that they really enjoyed London.
I think it's just a big city where I was growing up around with.
Yeah.
So, and also I just we are like doing a lot of touristy stuff around
Yeah.
London, obviously.
Okay, what was your something that sticks in your mind tourist-wise in London that you thought this was awesome? I'm so glad I did it.
It just sounds so silly. We are just watching Tower Bridge raising.
That's cool. That's not silly. That's an engineering marvel of the 20th,
Yes, but,
20th century, I think.
But
19th, I
it
don't
feels
know.
like we are just watching.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but
Yeah, but
It
yeah.
doesn't go up often, right? Because in general, it's high enough for the ship, so it's quite rare, I think. Is it for it to raise, or?
Every day there are like 3 or 4.
Okay,
So it's relatively
that's-
rare, to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah. Did you purposefully seek it out, or were you just happened to be there? And
Yeah,
it
I
was
happened
like,
to be there. So
That's
it's
cool.
okay.
No, that's really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Uh,
I'm not sure I've ever seen Tower Bridge go up. So.
yeah, I've also been to Nottingham. I think
Okay.
I've seen. I have actually made a video about that on my
Okay.
channel. Yeah, but I've been there like a day trip.
Okay. Just to what, in the city or the university or?
Just the city because I was filming about George Green, the
Right,
Green's
yeah.
function. Green's,
Yes. Okay.
Green's
So you went to
theorem.
Nottingham to film.
Yeah.
Is his grave there, or did he study there, or something? Or what's
Yeah,
the-
the grave and then the windmill.
Ah, okay. Yes. Yeah.
But I have also there was also like a tram in Nottingham, right? I haven't like to be honest, I haven't seen because Cambridge doesn't have it.
Cambridge. Yeah.
Oxford doesn't have
We
it.
don't know. London doesn't have trams. Trams are. There are.
I think it's like south of London they have trams.
Oh, do they? Okay. I just assume they're all trains. You know, it's like the tube, the overground,
I mean,
whatever
fair
it is.
enough, yeah.
But okay. Yeah. No, there's a lot of northern cities do. Like Blackpool has a tram. Manchester has a tram near where I grew up, like northwest. We like our trams up in the north of England. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's some cool places in England. If anyone ever comes to England, recommendations right there.
Yeah.
All right. There you are. 3.
Oh, 3 again. That.
You need to get something else that isn't a 3. Or, keep rolling 2s and 3s. It's fine. Thank you. Okay. What are you currently reading?
I suppose again, it's not really fiction, but I can say something about like what kind of books I've read. So it's a book called The Girl in the Spider Web. I think that's the book is called. It's a series of books. I can't remember anything, but I can remember.
I love how you just don't remember anything unless it's maths.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I just the only thing that I remember is that it takes place at Stockholm.
Okay. Is it the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
all right.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. So I know that one from the film, but I can't. And then there was like the two
Oh,
follow-ups.
I think yeah.
Okay. So the one you're reading is the second or the third?
Probably. Because they are like relatively separate, so
Okay.
Yeah. I was like I really enjoyed that.
I've never
remember.
I've never read them, but I remember my mum was reading them and she really enjoyed them. But then I just watched the film, which was kind of cheating. Because I feel like once you watch a film, it's then hard. I find it's then hard to go back to a book because you picture what you saw in the film. You know, whereas when you read a book for the first time,
you picture it yourself.
Exactly. So you kind of put your own slant on it, and then it's nice to then watch a film and see someone else's slant on it. But I feel like if you see the film first, I find it hard to then, properly imagine the book because you see the film. I don't know.
Yeah, there's also a series called like I Am Number 4, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I can just remember that it is like kind of, I don't know if you saw the meme about like the horse being drawn very well on the head, and then it's just slowly deteriorating towards the end. So basically, like the first book is really good.
Oh, okay.
And then the second.
Okay.
And then the second book, I could not finish it.
Okay. So
So
you recommend the first book, but not
the first
beyond
book
that.
is really gripping. Yes.
Okay. All right. And that was called I Am Number 4?
Yes.
Okay. I've never heard of that one, but there you go. It's a recommendation then.
Yeah, but
Trevor.
yeah. But to be honest, if you're talking about like now, I haven't. Like, it's not the kind of reading that you imagine. So it's like textbook kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Cambridge just really relies on lecture notes.
Yes. No, we're the same in Oxford. Yeah. Everything you need to know in theory is in the lecture notes. So like, if you just concentrate on understanding those, that was my approach as a student. I would know the lecture notes in and out and understand everything, and I seemed to do completely fine in my exams. Occasionally, I'd have to look something up in a textbook if I didn't quite understand a proof or something. But
yeah, but the thing is that like on my channel, many people say, "Could you recommend what books or resources?" I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably I could recommend like the books. Like every course they have like a reference book kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't personally recommend it.
Yeah.
It's just that I haven't read it.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if you can get something that isn't a 2 or a 3. It's a 2.
2. Okay. We might have to get some ones.
It's just a whole Maths V-Dating episode of general questions. But interesting nonetheless. Do you play video games?
No. I feel like such a boring person now. Not really. Like, basically, I grew up in a bit of a strict parenting.
Okay.
So, not really a lot of video games allowed.
Okay.
So I don't think I have played like, those party games where you like played like Mario Kart or something. I haven't even touched that in a long time. So when I go into university, so at some point I downloaded Fall Guys.
Okay. Yeah.
But then I found myself kind of addicted to it.
That's what video games do.
So I just don't play it anymore.
Right, because it was what's sort of taking over your studying time and different things.
Yeah, it's like I have a little bit like if I like something, it's very likely that I would be addicted to it. So yeah, I don't even have a lot of games on my phone right now.
Yeah.
The only thing that probably like the bridge game.
Okay. So, you play bridge? Okay.
Like really mathy kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, that's interesting.
It's less easy to be addicted to.
Yeah. Have you ever gambled playing bridge? Playing for money?
No, it's
No.
it's no. I just don't dare to do it because I'm a little bit of a beginner.
Yeah, okay.
I only learned bridge when I was in Cambridge, so
Okay.
it's only like 3 or 4 years, and I don't even play bridge that often.
Right, okay. Fair
So-
enough. I don't know the rules, so I haven't heard it's mathematical though, so it is a quite mathematical game.
It's more of a risk-taking game.
Okay, okay.
also-
but it would help to be able to calculate those risks as you're taking them in some sense. Is that
Like very advanced players
Okay.
would do that, but ultimately, I just went with my gut, to be honest. It's
Yeah.
about taking risk and also
Okay.
forcing others to take risks.
All right? One more.
Oh, okay.
Last one.
Last one. Please let it be one.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not really a one. We're fooling you all. It's a 6, but
Yeah.
we're gonna. Okay. I tell you what. We wanted it to be a 1 so bad. Let's do one of each.
Okay.
Because we
that's
feel
fine.
like we've had very little maths questions in this, right? We've
Yeah.
only had one. I think we've only
think
had one.
yeah.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll do the maths question first,
Okay.
and then because you actually got a 6, I feel like we
Okay,
can't
okay.
just ignore the fact you rolled a 6.
Alright,
Okay, so maths question
Right.
from here. Okay, so the one that you didn't roll. Oh, it's a good one. Can you describe your favorite theorem, or tell us about your favorite theorem or favorite result in maths? It doesn't have to be a theorem.
Just what came to my mind is what's called theorema egregium. So,
Okay.
It's called remarkable theorem in Latin. So I think you have probably heard it in the context of pizza slices.
Okay.
So if it is originally flat, then if you fold it, the curvature is still 0. But it's only because like in this direction is positive, so it forces the other directions to be
negative, yeah.
to be 0. I just think the more I know about theorema egregium, the more I appreciate that because the way that so it's really deep into the math here. So basically there are like it's a theorem in differential geometry. There are I think there are like first and second called fundamental forms.
Yep.
And curvature is defined in terms of both.
Okay.
But what theorema egregium says is that you can actually just define it in terms of the first.
Okay.
So I think the more that you go about doing it, the more magical it seems.
Okay.
And also, by the way, if anyone watching knows about that, I really want to know a proof that does not involve a lot of computations.
So is that like the standard proof is very computational? Or
Yes, yeah, it's really computational. The proof that I learned and the proof
was this for a course at university or?
Yes.
Okay.
Like the 3rd year differential geometry,
Yeah.
they have it.
Yes.
And then 2nd year geometry, they just state the theorem, but didn't prove it.
So what is the in the 2nd year course? What is the statement of the theorem they give there?
Oh,
Or like what is like the simplest way you could state the theorem? Because you were talking about pizzas and things, but can you just clarify what exactly is the theorem itself saying?
so there are like two things. So first fundamental theorem is basically concerned with lengths, angles, those kind of things.
Yes.
And then second fundamental form is really caring about, like it's kind of like second derivative kind of thing.
Okay, because
So-
that's how I would think about defining curvature. Would be the second derivative kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
But it turns out that because you are working with surfaces, you have to also think about the tangent space at the surface in order to make sense of everything. So what theorem equilibrium says is that curvature is obviously, you can imagine that it is defined using that second fundamental form, like the second derivative thing.
Yeah.
But also the first fundamental form is just kind of defining what lengths are.
Okay.
But what the theorem is saying is that if you just know how to define lengths
Yeah.
on a surface, you know the curvature.
Okay. Okay. So
So-
it's saying you don't need to like bring in the tools of calculus in some sense, right? Because to get second derivatives, you're obviously relying on calculus,
Yeah.
right? But so it's kind of saying, whereas we can just concentrate on lengths, which is like more sort of like geometry.
Yeah.
You know, and like I'm just thinking, like I've honestly never heard this theorem before because I've never
Okay,
studied
okay.
differential geometry. So to me, it sounds like you're sort of saying there's one fundamental form which is like pure geometry stuff. There's another one which is like calculus-y, borrowing from calculus and ideas from calculus.
Yes, kind of.
Or,
Yeah,
like, I'm sure
second
this
order
is-
correction, basically.
I'm
yes.
sure this is complete simplification.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
And then your theorem is sort of saying, well, we can actually just think of curvature in terms of the first stuff, just the geometry stuff. We don't actually need to bring in second derivatives and calculus.
Yeah, and I think another way of thinking about it is that when you see a world map, what you're seeing is what you're seeing is basically how to when you see the map scale. Basically, what you're seeing is how to define the lengths of like 1 centimeter or something like that.
Yeah.
But what theorem equilibrium is saying is that just by looking at the map scale at every single point, you know the curvature. So if you have an accurately drawn world map, you don't.
Figure out the curvature.
Yeah,
of the Earth.
you can already figure out the curvature of the Earth.
Okay.
So,
Awesome.
yeah.
That's very cool. Thank you for sharing. And now,
And now, okay,
the actual last question
okay.
from the danger pot to end. It's always good to end on a danger question. But I'm also glad we got to talk about some actual maths. What is your most embarrassing moment? That you're willing to share with YouTube, I guess, should be the... But can you
So,
share
okay.
with us something embarrassing that's happened to you at some point?
So this one is actually about maths.
There we go.
So basically, in my secondary school, I was watching the infamous number file video. Do you know which one I was
Minus
talking
1/12.
Yes.
I love how we just say infamous number file. It's like it's minus 1/12. It's either that one or it's the one that has like 400 views always or whatever, right?
That one is not infamous.
Or whatever it is.
It's
I feel like that one's
infamous.
also quite okay. Fine.
It's not,
Okay, the infamous one, yes, the
Yeah.
minus 1/12 number file video.
Yes. So I was very, very interested in it.
Yeah.
So I was using kind of the same argument to deduce that 1 plus 4 plus 9 all the way so on is equal to 0.
Yeah. You probably could. Yeah.
And then, because I was so proud of making this argument, I sent it to, I don't think the whole school, but the whole forum.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was like really, I feel very embarrassed right now.
I don't
but-
think that's embarrassing.
But like, that's the only thing I got.
Did anyone reply? Did anyone?
No.
No, just
No.
flat. When did you realize that potentially there was something flawed about the argument? Or did you not realize until a long way in the future?
I think a long way into the future, to be honest. So I don't know whether this video does good or bad, because obviously the argument is not correct. It's not rigorous, but it also sparks interest in at least me in maths.
Absolutely. Oh no, I think it's a great video. Of course, as you say, it's now infamous because there's always discussion around, you know, that proof in general. I like to discuss generally with my students because it's interesting to see where they think it breaks down. You know.
Okay.
So I don't know. Do you remember like the sort of the first part where things are dodgy, or
I think it's just assuming that it converges or something like
Yeah,
that.
right. So you, at least the way I remember doing it is you start with a sequence, and it possibly is the same as the number file one. You start with the sequence 1, -1, +1, -1, +1,
Right.
-1, and then you say, oh well, this is gonna. You do some rearrange. You assume it converges, and then you rearrange, and it comes out to be a half.
Yeah.
But obviously, the point is it never actually converges. It's just either 1 or -1.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense to. So like the very first assumption is actually incorrect. Assuming that you can say this is equal to A. That's the problem with it. So then anything from that point onwards is nonsense.
Right. Yeah.
So that's why you can end up with a result like what you
Yeah.
sort of had ended up with. That's why I think if you start from that point, you can literally prove any infinite sum is equal to anything.
Yes.
I think by just manipulating from that starting point, because you use that to then figure out all of the other sums you need for -112 rely on the 1 -1 one in some context or other.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a really good lesson for students on how you can start from a single false assumption and get whatever you want. I feel like I think it's a really important video as a teaching tool. And also, as you say, if it sparked your interest in maths in the first place, I think that's amazing. So
Yeah.
yeah. And what a lovely, wholesome point to end on. Trevor's first real interest in maths all sparked from a YouTube video, and he now makes YouTube videos. So that just leaves me to say huge thank you, Trevor, for coming on and pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, as we've discovered. For all of you watching, huge thank you as always for watching the video. Do check out Mathemaniac, see what Trevor's doing over there. It's awesome. And if you've enjoyed this and anything else on my channel, please do also subscribe to my channel, Tom Rocks Maths. I'll see you all soon.